Hey guys, I am honoring the suggestions that have come in as a reward for those who've been making donations to the Tap Cancer Out fundraiser that I'm supporting right now. And this one goes out to Renee, Beauty in the Hurting by Jared Benjamin. Are you guys ready? Please remember, it is not too late to give. While I have reached and exceeded my goal thanks to your generosity, the overall Tap Cancer Out fundraiser is only 38, now maybe a little bit more percent down the line of the overall funds we're trying to raise. All the profits go to the beneficiaries, various organizations that are in the fight against cancer. You can see the list of that on tapcancerout.org. Consider giving, link below, link in the comments, wecan.tapcancerout.org/Rosalie Elliott. Give today. Let us blow our goal out of the water. Let us support the overall fundraiser to reach the overall goal. Are you ready?
All I know, I'm only 25, I shouldn't feel this broke. Every time I complain, they just up the dose. Trying to slap a band-aid on a bullet hole. So laughed and Adderall don't help. Gotta do it for myself. I'm done with feeling like I should be fine. Pain's a part of life. It means that you're alive. It's sunny then it's stormy, and every scar's a story. If you're broken inside, you can't help but fight. Don't numb the pain, don't fear the rain. This hurt, it means it's working. Beauty in the hurting. 1,000 steps. It's easier to fall back than to take the next. When every muscle screaming, please just let me rest. There's a reason that it's freezing on Mount Everest. You can grow old with regret. Fold before your bed, or climb and risk the cold to touch the sky. 'Cause pain's a part of life. It means that you're alive. It's sunny then it's stormy, and every scar's a story. If you're broken inside, you can't help but fight. Don't numb the pain, don't fear the rain. This hurt, it means it's working. Oh, there's beauty in the hurting. I've got a hurt in my chest, a pain in my back, and just about everywhere. But I would rather feel pain than nothing at all if it means I've been everywhere.
Whoa.
Pain's a part of life. It means that you're alive. It's sunny then it's stormy, and every scar is a story. If you're broken inside, you can't help but fight. Don't numb the pain, don't fear the rain. This hurt, it means it's working. Beauty in the hurting.
My God, this is powerful. This is the perfect song for this fundraiser. Thank you so much, Renee. Boy, this is the perfect song. I'm going to put that on my playlist for jiu-jitsu too, when I'm getting ready and warming up. I love the honesty of the lyrics here, because I know there's a lot of songs and poems and conversations that deal with the idea of, hey, the storm will go away, the sun will break through. And it's very poignant to me that he says the sun shines and then the storm comes, instead of flipping it around and saying, well, the storm comes, but then the sun, and ends with that happy note, which I think a lot of times is human of us to want to end. We'll talk about the bad, but now let's talk about the hope. Let's go from storm to sunshine, not the other way around. But the reality of it is a lot of times it is the other way around. For many people, the sunny days, if they ever had any, were before, maybe in their childhood, maybe before they can remember, and then life happened and there was trauma and abuse and pain. And a lot of times we romanticize suffering, we romanticize hope, and it's going to get better unless we're in it. I think for someone to so authentically, with so much emotion, vocal ability aside, by the way, which he has an amazing voice, the way that he slides into those high notes, the rasp, that vocal range, phenomenal voice, musical composition, beautiful. It felt stripped down and raw, which I think was necessary emotionally. All of that aside, though, I think for someone to be able to sing with such authenticity and with such Überzeugungskraft, like conviction, you have got to know pain. And that's why I cry, because I know pain and you know pain. A lot of us, we know what it's like to lose someone or to be hurting. And it's easy to romanticize. It's easy to see hopeful quotes that sound nice and romantic and, oh, the sun will break through. But when you're in the midst of it, sometimes you don't even want to hear that, for one, because it doesn't fit the actual suffering. It doesn't do it justice. Or sometimes it feels like your pain is being belittled when we're too quick to go to the hope part and the sunshine part, and we're too quick to go, everything will be okay. It means nothing when you've just lost someone, you've buried your daughter, your son, your best friend, your husband, your parent. It means nothing when you were just diagnosed with a cancer diagnosis and you're in the fight of your life. All of us are going to die, and people don't talk about it enough because it's scary as shit. Some of us defy it and want to just go crazy and live life to the fullest and on the edge, but maybe are doing that because we don't want to deal with our death anxieties. Others deny it. They don't want to talk about death, or they are so focused on the afterlife that, if we're honest, it's maybe, for some, not for everybody, this attempt at not wanting to deal with it. If I'm going to heaven or reincarnation or wherever, then I'm good. And there's more. And so I don't have to think about the end of this life. Some have their various reasons of trying to escape it, right? Stay forever young. How successful, beautiful, and wrinkleless can I be so that it doesn't look like I'm headed towards death? Because we're not going to talk about Bruno. And I think that things like medical diagnosis, physical pain, divorce, high-level stress when it comes to work, the loss of a child, of a spouse, of anyone in your life close to you, death of someone in our environment, those things show us yet again how mortal we are in our death anxieties and our existential fears. We may think of death more when we're kids, but then we're told by many, not always, we don't really talk about that. Or you're going to go to heaven, your dog went to heaven, everything's okay, go back to play, right? I'm not saying that that's what people usually, that everyone has that type of message that they receive, but let's be honest, we go through those phases in our development, and where we're curious about it, some more than others, we start then just living our life, and we get preoccupied with the chase after money and a spouse and kids and a house and paying the bills or whatever else we have as a mission and a vision and a dream. And then as we get older again, or if something happens to someone who is young, long before they're supposed to have any physical ailments, that'll put us face to face real fast with death and our existential fears. And that's why I feel I can take this song so serious, because you hear the emotion, you feel the pain, because this comes from someone who seems to really understand it. And that's why it touches me, because I think of people that I've lost and I cry because I wish I would have understood death and life and grief and fear. And I would have been old enough to stand by that side of my grandmother and hold her hand, because she must have been scared. And I wish I could stand by my aunt and my great uncle. And I wish I could stand by people and hold their hand as they're walking into death. And it's lonely and it's terrifying. And I think that there's this dichotomy even when it comes to medical diagnoses. Some that are a death sentence to some where there is still a possibility of recovery, but they still have to think about death because it may or may not work. And so there's a lot of fear involved there. Even if it's not terminal necessarily, there's still a lot of fear there of, am I going to make it through the treatment? What is this going to do to my body? It's very lonely. People feel, in addition to the fact that we will die alone, our death anxieties can be very lonely, because who wants to talk about it? Who wants to stay with you in that? When you are diagnosed with something, or when you've lost someone, people are often uncomfortable to stay around because they don't know what to say. They feel so helpless, or they don't want to deal with their own death anxieties and grief, which makes the person suffering feel even more alone. And I love the idea of putting all this topic into such a beautiful song, but to still look at it with so much hope. While this song is very honest about the reality of pain and of the scars and those questions that are being asked, I'm young, how could this be? Even poignant things like every time I say I'm in pain, they just up the dose. I feel like this is more than just an honest conversation about what happens in a medical sense when you have some type of diagnosis. Not even just cancer or other terminal illnesses, but many, and I know many of you through the whole higher end reaction, have expressed struggles with that, from depression and anxiety to autoimmune disease and chronic illnesses that you felt were not taken serious, neither by doctors and providers nor by friends. And that goes also for mental health issues, where sometimes you have maybe not received the care you needed and felt dismissed by therapists and providers. That's a terribly lonely place. But when I hear they just up the dose, it makes me think of more than just in the medical sense. It also makes me think of our human tendency just to want to quick fix things. We're quick to do it in our day-to-day life. You'll be okay. Just get back up. And there's a time to be encouraged and motivated. You know, when my child falls, there's times for me to comfort and, oh no, honey, I'm so sorry. And then there's times to go, you're okay. You got this. Because I know that they're fine. They just are trying to see my response. And if I'm panicking, that might incite more fear in them. So there's a dance how we respond, but we have a tendency to just be quick to dismiss. And so that honest conversation of I'm in pain, they just up the dose. I'm only so young. I didn't expect all this. To then keep going and singing about every scar tells a story. And that is so true. From the tiniest little scrapes to the biggest little gaping wounds, they tell a story. And again, we say these things and they sound sweet and romantic and oh, my scar is a story. But actually reflect on that. Look at the scars on your body. What story do they tell? And what story are you telling yourself? Is it a story of defeat? Is it a story of, especially for the ladies among us often, I'm not so pretty anymore, right? C-section scars, it's changed me. Who am I now? Am I just mom and wife? Am I still my own person? Am I still beautiful? All those are very normal existential questions. For the men among us, right? Men may look at scars, stereotypically speaking, different than women. But how often do we actually reflect on those scars and really ponder the story that they tell, what we've been through and how that relates to us and what that means for our life? But also, what are we storying ourselves about that scar? Is it a scar of defeat and of hopelessness? This means I'm doomed, I'm dying, I'm broken, I'm old, I'm useless, I'm ugly. Or is this a story of look at all the life I've lived and the life that I've given and the lives that I've saved and the impact I'm doing? There is a quote by Otto Rank. He was a student, a disciple of Sigmund Freud. And he basically says something along the lines of, there's many individuals, some individuals are afraid to take a loan out on life because they're afraid of the debt of death. And if we think that we owe death anything, if we're afraid that the more life we live, the more death is going to come to collect that debt. The irony in that is that death is coming anyways. So why not take that loan out on life? Does that mean recklessness, craziness? No, because would that really be taking a true loan out on life? My friend so funnily said, no, you might be doing life in prison. But is the idea of taking a loan out on life being reckless and it all being hedonistic? I would argue no. I think it's a dance, as we beautifully saw in the Hiren monologue at the end. Taking a loan out on life, living fully in the face of death and a diagnosis and sickness, to me looks like what he is doing here. Being honest about the pain of the experience, but also saying, hey, it means that I'm alive. As much as I hate that that's reality, as much as I hate that death's coming and that there's pain and suffering, there's beauty in it. But he paints it so beautifully that it's beyond just this romantic notion of, oh, you know, your scars tell a story. There's beauty in the pain. This is real. This is really saying, I am finding a way to find meaning. And that's therapy, to find a meaning in life. We see that in Viktor Frankl, a concentration camp survivor from the Dritte Reich, who was in that search and wrote a powerful book about the search for the meaning, trying to find the meaning of life. What's the point of it all? That's also an existential question. And here I'm seeing someone who is authentically talking to us about pain, very relatable, regardless of the diagnosis and where you're at, but saying, hey, there's beauty in the hurting. I'm alive. I'm trying to find meaning. I'm trying to make sense of it. But he does it in a way that it convinces me and makes me go, I think you have found that beauty. And for some reason I can relate, because I think of losing my own daughter, my first baby, halfway through the pregnancy, and holding my own dead child in my arms, and those moments of death and grief and pain that I cannot describe. I wouldn't wish on anybody. And many of you can relate to that. Many of you who've lost your children, who were much further into life and into memories with you. And there's a pain in that and a grief that never goes away. But at the same time, I can sit with that pain in my heart and in my chest. And I can still go, somehow there's still something beautiful here. I'm still breathing. There's a lot we could talk about here, but this was incredibly beautiful and deep. Thank you, Renee. Go check out Jared Benjamin, subscribe to his channel, listen to this song directly, not just here, to up his numbers and push the algorithm his way. Amazing musician, amazing lyricist and songwriter. Absolutely amazing. This was powerful. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Keep supporting me on Tap Cancer Out, guys. Let's go above and beyond. Tap Cancer has not reached its full fundraising goal yet. So please keep giving, and I will see you on the next ride. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next ride. Heyo!